Picture the ultimate locked room mystery. A victim lies on the floor. The doors are bolted from the inside. The windows are sealed. There are no fingerprints, no hidden passages, and no weapon. The police aren't missing a suspect. It is physically impossible for anyone to have been in this room to commit the act. We usually assume every event has a trigger. A glass shatters because someone dropped it. A footprint exists because someone walked there. But in this specific case, we have a clear, undeniable result, a victim, with a complete absence of any possible cause. When you sever the link between cause and effect, the underlying logic of reality breaks apart. To see how this happens, we have to look at a few highly unusual case files. Let's start with a simple physical setup. Imagine a pitch-black road lined with streetlights. Next to every single streetlight stands a guard with his hand on a switch, and this road doesn't stop. It stretches backward into the darkness infinitely, with an endless number of guards. Look at this timeline of the sequence. There is exactly one rule governing this entire line. A guard will only flip his switch and turn on his light if the light immediately behind him is turned off. Here's where the logic traps us. Because the line extends backward forever, there is no first guard to start the sequence. Guard number 100 is waiting on guard number 101. Guard 1,000,000 is waiting on guard 1,000,001. Without a first person to act, no one in the chain can ever make a move. Yet sitting right here in front of us, the final streetlight is shining brightly. If every single actor in a sequence is strictly waiting for the person behind them to do something, the chain can never start. Someone somewhere has to act first. But in an infinite line, that someone doesn't exist. Let's move from a line of people to physical space. A man is standing on a dirt road. His goal is completely ordinary. He just wants to walk exactly 1 mile forward. Look at this diagram of his path. Before he finishes, an invisible force drops an impenetrable wall at the half-mile mark. Another drops at the quarter-mile, then an eighth, a 16th, a 32nd. This subdivision continues into infinity, slicing the distance in half endlessly. Because space is infinitely divisible, there is no first wall for him to hit. No matter how small of a fraction of an inch he tries to move, an infinite number of walls blocks that exact microscopic space. He cannot even lift his own boot. The infinite density of barriers guarantees his journey never begins. He is frozen at the starting line. Now we apply this exact same trap to time. A target is asleep in his bed. Waiting for him is an infinite sequence of assassins, all assigned to strike within a single hour. This clock face charts the hour between noon and 1 p.m. If the target is alive at 1 p.m., an assassin eliminates him. But another is scheduled at 12:30, another at 12:15, another at 12:07. The interval halves continuously, cascading backward endlessly toward noon. With an infinite roster of killers checking the room at ever-shrinking intervals, it is absolutely certain the target will not survive the hour. The victim will be dead. But think about the logistics. The 12:30 assassin can only strike if the 12:15 assassin failed. The 12:15 assassin only acts if the 12:07 assassin did nothing. No individual assassin can actually deliver the fatal blow, because there is always an infinite number of assassins scheduled before them. So the victim is dead, but nobody killed him. How can a specific event occur if there is absolutely no first person available to trigger it? These scenarios aren't pulled from police files. They are variations of a famous philosophical thought experiment known as the Grim Reaper paradox. This paradox was designed to test the limits of our logic. It exposes a severe mismatch between the way we casually imagine the concept of infinity and the strict mechanical way cause and effect actually govern the physical universe. Look at this animated chain. If a sequence extends backward forever, no action can ever be initiated. Apply this to time. If you lived through infinite yesterdays to arrive at this exact moment, the present would be infinitely delayed. You can write an infinite series of fractions on a chalkboard. The math is perfectly sound. But when you apply that infinite structure to physical time and actual events, the machinery of reality breaks down. To solve the paradox, philosophers point to causal finitism. This is the logical conclusion that an infinite chain of past causes is strictly impossible. If you accept that an infinite regress creates impossible contradictions, then time, space, and reality itself cannot stretch backward endlessly. There has to be a hard boundary. The chain of events has to stop at a definitive first cause, a starting point that was not triggered by anything before it. The universe is the ultimate locked room. For all of this to exist, for the clock to start ticking, there had to be a beginning. Without a true starting point, the gears of cause and effect could never have been set into motion. And if the past had no beginning, the present